Development. After 4 weeks of recess, the National Assembly has resumed today, with national security and political oversights taking center stage. Top on the deliberations is a renewed call to urgently address the security challenges as the Senate moves to convene a national security summit. TVC News On reports.
After a 4-week break, Nigeria senators returned to a transformed chamber, ready to tackle pressing national concerns. The Senate chamber has gone fully automated, each seat now fitted with a mini monitor and new microphones, part of a push to modernize plenary sessions and possibly pave way for open ballot voting during divisions.
Whatever we do, we must think more of moving the country forward instead of moving our pockets forward. Let the burdens on our shoulders, though enormous, be lightened through our unity of purpose.
But beyond the digital upgrade, the tone on the floor was serious. 2 troubling incidents took center stage: the attack on hunters from Kano in Urumi and the tragic Easter Day incident in Gombe, where a truck rammed into a Christian procession.
The lack of regulated framework for community security has created an environment where self-styled enforcers carry weapons without accountability, thereby posing a serious threat to public safety and national cohesion.
And therefore urge the Nigerian Police and the Federal Road Safety Commission, as well as other relevant security agencies, to provide adequate security and ensure strict adherence to road safety measures to forestall future occurrence whenever such major events are taking place across the country.
These incidents added urgency to a motion already before the Senate, a call for a national security summit.
It is very important now that we converge as a Senate. We must lend our voice. We cannot leave executive alone.
Do we want to be true and fair and say the truth about what is happening in this country?
How can we best utilize the vigilantes? How can we have community policing? How can we have community protection? What should families look out for?
After extensive debate, the Senate resolved to convene a national security summit. Meanwhile, the crisis in Rivers State is also getting attention. The senators set up a 20-member committee to monitor governance in the state, particularly the actions of the sole administrator. The committee is led by the Senate's leader, Okpeyemi Bamidele, with Senator Rufai Hanga as his deputy. The committee includes prominent senators from across party lines and aims to ensure accountability and transparency in the administration of the state. With national security and political tensions prominent on the agenda, the Senate returns with a sense of greater responsibility, fully aware of the high expectations from the Nigerian people. TVC News, Abuja.
Let's go on a short break, and when we return, we'll get straight into our conversation for tonight. Please stay with us.
Every major news story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Hello. What time did this happen? We will be right there.
At TVC News, we follow the big and major news, gathering the facts, witnessing the outcome.
I am here live at the aftermath of the approval of the new national minimum wage.
We are TV Station of the Year, not just for breaking news, but for being first, fair and accurate. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Nifemi Oguntoye, news anchor with TVC News.
My day is usually busy and it's difficult keeping up with breaking news stories, trending stories, business news, stock exchange and what have you. But with TVC News on WhatsApp, I'm able to catch up with all the breaking news, real-time updates and trending stories on the go, right on my phone, no matter where I am. It's quick, easy and always on. And here you can join us by scanning the QR code or using the link on our X and Instagram. Why wait? Come to the side of news that keeps you ahead. TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon. I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amaka Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Welcome to Warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi Brown, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Information is power, information is security, information is knowledge. On Labor Lens, we believe that working people around the world have real questions of their own. They want to know how the world of work operates, what it means to the employer of labor, how policies affect workers in the workplace. On Labor Lens, I ensure we engage effectively the organized labor, organized private sector, and government to get out of them information workers are in need of. I am Sharon Ijason, asking questions that make you get sense of the workplace.
Muhammad Ali was born and raised in Louisville, Kentucky on January 17, 1942. His birth name was Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. He began training as an amateur boxer at age 12, and at 18 he won a gold medal in the light heavyweight division at the 1960 Summer Olympics and turned professional later that year. In his early years as a professional, Clay was more highly regarded for his charm and personality than for his ring skills. He sought to raise public interest in his fights by reading childlike poetry and spouting self-descriptive phrases like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. On February 25, 1964, at age 22, he pulled off a major upset, defeating Sonny Liston to win the World Heavyweight Championship. That same year, he shocked the boxing establishment again by denouncing his birth name as a slave name and formally took the name Muhammad Ali, which was given to him by his spiritual mentor Elijah Muhammad, leader of the Nation of Islam. For the next 3 years, Ali dominated the boxing arena. Muhammad Ali retired from boxing.
Welcome back, everyone. Across the globe, multiple sectors of the economy are undergoing steady and transformative changes, reshaping the way businesses operate and conduct transactions. At the center of this evolution is the rising influence of artificial intelligence, fueled by rapid technological advancements. But according to PwC's Global Artificial Intelligence Study, AI is projected to add up to $15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030, highlighting its vast potential to drive efficiency, innovation, and economic growth across industries. For Nigeria to tap into the full benefits of AI, there is a pressing need for robust investments in digital infrastructure and the development of relevant skills. Tonight, let's get the perspective of a cybersecurity technology, Opeyemi Olatuji. Good evening to you, Mr. Olatuji. Welcome to Politics Tonight.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Right, so let's start with the future of tech in Nigeria. You know, from fintech startups in Lagos to young coders in faraway Kaduna states, Nigeria's tech scene is growing fast, and some say we're not there yet. But the challenges seem to be quite enormous, and that's why you're here tonight, because our biggest concern is what Nigeria must do now to secure its place in the global tech future. But first, are Nigerians' universities and schools preparing students for future tech careers?
Yeah, Nigeria is actually, we have some impressive, I would say, steps that we've taken, coming from the policy, from what NITDA is also trying to achieve, that the 3 million technical talents by 2027, and there are also of other programs, I believe, that are going on. But right now, I would say We're not there yet, yeah, for sure, but we're actually going to be there in a few years to come. There are several programs that are being developed, several products in the fintech, in banks, e-commerce. There are other areas of technology that people, I would say Nigerians, are exploring when it comes to product development. Very soon, we will become the tech hub for Africa. I would say there are a lot of things to achieve. There are a lot of progress to be made. But I tell you, we're getting there.
All right, so if you say we're not there yet, is this so because we do not know what to do with technology, or experts do not have the thriving environment for these careers to thrive? So my next question would be, how can technology help solve Nigeria's problems, in areas like education, health, and agriculture, for instance?
Yeah, so first of all, let me take why I say we're not there yet. For any nation to leverage technology, especially when it comes to artificial intelligence, there are a lot of frameworks that should be on ground, right? We're talking about the AI governance itself. Before you start using a technology, you must have prepared for it. You must have prepared for risks that come out of it. Technology is good. You have the pros and the cons. And then Nigeria needs to, first of all, get it right when it comes to policy. What is the regulatory compliance that needs to be met? And are we ready to enforce it? Take, for instance, AI. It has its own risk. There could be bias in the models. There could be cybersecurity threats. We have to be prepared for this. Even developed countries, it's not as if they are 100% there. Like AI is a new thing. Talk about the deepfakes, for instance. That's just out around 2014. So people are not really prepared for what the risks are going to be. It could be like data loss. It could be someone having access to a personally identifiable information. I play a lot when it comes to cybersecurity and AI, and I've had the opportunity to deal with some threats coming out of AI. Now, that's one part. The second part will be the skills. We need to train people. We need to create a tech hub, like a workspace, maybe a co-work space, for instance, where people can learn and apply their knowledge. I've had instances where some Nigerian graduates have reached out to me looking for a place to experience the practical aspect of what they learned in school, right? So school itself, our education is going to be around theoretical aspect of AI or technology. But every youth has to have a place where you have to put this in practice, where you have to practice it, work directly with what you learned in school. So now the skills gap are there. We need to develop our youth. We need to have a program. It's going to be nationwide, or it could be regional, actually.
All right.
But we need to have a kind of setup for that.
All right, so if you say we're not there yet, I wonder why. But if you also say it doesn't look like we're almost there, I'm more concerned. Perhaps I should have started with your assessment of the Ministry of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy. What's your assessment of the ministry?
Yeah. I will be factual with you, they are doing a great job. So I know NITDA is also under this ministry. They've kind of created what they call the National Artificial Intelligence Strategy. They have the 3 MTT that I mentioned a few minutes ago. They're also working on a lot of regulatory aspects of AI. So I would say they are doing a great job. And that is where to start from. They are getting it right when it comes to the preliminary things that that any nation needs to fulfill before you really go into full adoption of AI. If we look at Nigeria, I would say we have started adopting AI. And I would say from one of the reports that Federal Ministry of Communication and Innovation and Digital, what they published, we say about about 44% yearly. You know, that would be the average growth rate when it comes to AI adoption, which is a good thing. And I would say they're doing a great job.
All right, so
that
if
is
you
what
say
we
the
need to
ministry
get right
is
first.
doing
Yeah.
right, so if you say the ministry is doing a great job, and you're also saying that we're not getting our policies right, how do you juxtapose both realities?
So it's one thing to get your AI governance right. It's one thing to have the skills itself.
So I'm not
it's
talking
one thing
about
to
AI.
also be able to play internationally.
So I'm not talking about
Okay,
AI,
okay.
I'm talking about technology in general.
Oh, in general?
Yes.
Yeah. So Nigeria is doing well, not 100%. So if you say Nigeria is doing pretty well, you want to expect that every nation in the world knows that, oh, if you come to Nigeria, you can get the talent that you need. Take, for instance, India. India is known for IT. The same way Nigeria should be known for technology, for information technology, right? So now, as far as Nigeria is concerned right now, I would say we're not there yet. There's a lot of things to achieve. You know, there's a lot of skills gap, policy. We need the policy to back whatever we're doing. We need a policy to back it up. We
All right.
need people to learn how to use it and how to adapt it.
Okay then, so AI is rapidly being integrated into the society to reshape critical sectors. You're talking about healthcare, education, governance, but what does a uniquely African or Nigerian approach to AI development look like?
Okay, so can you rephrase the question? I want to go with what you're trying to ask.
So I was saying, I mean, you've kept on talking about AI, so I wanted us to focus on it for a while. It's rapidly being integrated into the society to reshape some critical sectors, healthcare, education, and governance. So I'm asking, what does a uniquely African, or let's say Nigerian approach to AI development look like?
So as of now, Nigeria is trying to, we adopt AI just because everyone is adopting AI. There's no, it's not as if we built our own kind of AI or we have the full AI governance like I was trying to say. So right now everybody adopts ChatGPT, OpenAI application programming interface, and we're adopting it and we're using it in all of the products we're building. But that is not all. AI is more than that. So right now it's like a rule of thumb. Everybody wants to jump on AI. So I want to use AI to promote my business, to offer better services to my clients. But we're not looking at the risks via AI. Before we can way of fully adopted AI.
So talk to us about the risk.
Be prepared.
Right, so talk to us about the risk.
Okay, so there are several risks when you adopt AI. First is going to be, what kind of data set have you trained your AI on? It could be a bias here. For instance, I'll tell you, you can have an AI that is biased towards gender or a particular sector of the country, or maybe minority, you know. When you're feeding data set into an AI, you're feeding a large data set. Your AI is learning from those data sets. If those data sets are not considering gender, some particular aspect of the, economy, or maybe some areas that don't have great data set, you're going to be teaching that AI a kind of bias when it's making decisions. Another thing is going to be the cyber security itself. So you hear about deepfakes. Deepfakes is when you can create anyone, superimpose the image, and give it voice cloning. And then you could think I'm the one speaking while I'm not actually the one speaking. So there are controls that you have to put in place when you are trying to adopt AI. So there are other risks, environmental risks. The data center itself is in the international countries and not in Nigeria, right? And then you're talking about data loss. Who is having access to our data? You don't know. So there's a lot of things. that contributes to the risk.
All right. So I proceeded with that question because, here at TVC News, we've become, TVC Communications, we've become the first broadcast media organization to infuse innovation into storytelling. Those who have witnessed this great innovation since we launched it about a week and a half say it's a new dawn for broadcasting in Nigeria. We've launched Nigeria's first artificial intelligence anchors in Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, and Pidgin. I want you to speak to how this, matches your interest.
Yeah. So, well, I would say it matches my is part of the thing I'm interested on. So my thinking has been, how do we adopt AI in Nigeria? It could be in different languages. Right now, it's mostly in English language, whatever you want to do with it. But AI is AI. It's capable of doing anything. You can train your AI models to speak any language. You can develop your AI products based on any language. So that would be a great thing if we can achieve it and do a great job in that area.
So TVC has achieved it. How great is this?
So I don't know how TVC is leveraging that for now, how deep TVC has gone. But yeah, if it's something I would just say, if TVC is going to properly adopt AI, TVC also look at the AI governance. That's an aspect that many many corporate entities are not looking into. So you want to look at the governance first, be sure you get it right when it comes to the governance before you go full AI.
Also, I would like to know, can AI help reduce the cost of broadcasting operations in Nigeria? Is it possible?
It is, and there are some trade-offs, right? Okay, but it is. So AI can help you in content development, editing, reducing time to delivery. That's some of the attributes of adopting artificial intelligence. But there are also trade-offs. And the trade-offs depends on the corporate policy, which is also built around some kind of policy. So say, for instance, you want an AI to develop your image or your content. We want to train the people that have been doing it before to use AI as a tool. So don't forget, AI should be used as a tool, not a replacement of jobs. So that's why some people, I would say, I don't want to say most people, some people are afraid of AI because they think it's going to replace them. That could be right. Depends on the corporate policy. If my corporate policy says, I want to train my people how to use AI as a tool. So instead of me taking 1 hour or 3 hours to develop a content, my staff can use that AI tool to develop this content within 10 minutes. So it speeds up, it increases your efficiency and also speeds up the time to delivery. So depends on corporate policy. But I would say we want to look at training the staffs on how to use it as a tool, but not as a replacement. It should be an augmentation to what I can do, not a replacement of me.
All right, so you are someone who has used tech to contribute to the US community, and you're coming to Nigeria to replicate some of those innovations. Why, when most youths are thinking of relocating?
Well, so when I left Nigeria, it was not to Japa, how do you call it? So it's for me to go acquire skills. As at the time when I was leaving, I was looking at going into tech fully, but I need some kind of training that I couldn't get at the time in Nigeria. So I need practical application of whatever I learned, and I need to work with the best people that have developed this, that are using it. They do this every day of their lives. And that's what I got when I left for the US. In the US, I've used technology for cybersecurity, both offensive and defensive. And I've also developed products that are geared towards giving customers the best service that they can get. And then I've also gone into social media, entertainment, trying to develop products that are IT enabled to make life easy for people. I would say easier, of course, for people. Now, my intention all these years was to bring whatever I can bring to Nigeria, to develop my country. I'm passionate about Nigeria. So when people see Nigeria, some people, as a failed state, I do not. I see opportunities. I see where we can develop ourselves. I work with several people from different countries, and I've seen where Nigerians work in the US, and they are very, very good. They are even better than most people. So we can bring these skills back to Nigeria and develop our nation.
All right. Quickly before I let you go, Mr. Okwemi, you talked about training. And you talked about training, so I would like to ask, how can government support youth and tech in Nigeria? And I'm asking because, Mr. President has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to supporting Nigeria's youth-driven economy. I mean, he has a Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy in the person of Bosun Tijani. Is government even doing enough in 30 seconds?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll tell you, far back, in 2023, I trained over 200 people for free, both in Python programming, website design, and all of that. My aim is to establish a tech hub, also a co-work space where we can teach people in cybersecurity, AI, and other things. Thank you.
All right, then, Okwemi Olatunji, cybersecurity, technology, and real estate expert. Thank you so much for joining us in the program. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go to break, and when we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay with us, everyone.
The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to properly brief the Senate regarding the state of the economy.
What I will never take is threat.
Let's now bring you more development from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, where an explosion has taken place. Tell us about this incident.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
I'm Miriam Lunge. I'm a passionate environment advocate and a published author.
I am the founder of Celebration, a businesswoman, and a fashion icon.
I am a wealth coach and a real estate developer.
I am Amako Arakwe. I'm a corporate commercial lawyer and an entrepreneur.
Barkamu da warhaka. I am Ramatu Shehu Oyibo, an entrepreneur and a business coach.
I am the voice of an average Muslim woman, an hijabite, and a lawyer.
I am a polymath and a serial entrepreneur.
I am Murayo Afolabi, Managing Director, TVC Entertainment. I'm a media consultant, producer, and broadcaster.
The ladies of your view are made of women from different professions, tribes, cultures, and religion. Join us every Monday to Friday as we share our views on topical and social issues.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices were echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything.
If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all. Their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Welcome back, everyone. In a bid to strengthen Nigeria's domestic economy and promote local content, President Bola Tinubu has initiated a policy that bars ministries, departments and agencies from procuring foreign goods or services already available locally without a written waiver from the Bureau of Public Procurement. This is as the Federal Executive Council approved a sweeping new policy directive aimed at prioritizing Nigerian businesses, goods and services in all government-related economic activities. The new policy targets the renewed Hope Nigeria First policy, seeks to foster a new business culture that is bold, confident and very Nigeria. Joining me tonight to elaborate on this is a business and investment consultant, Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwezi. Good evening, Dr. Nwachukwu. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right. So this is what the federal government had said. But for you, what is the main goal of the Nigeria First policy approved by the federal government? And why is it important for Nigeria to reduce dependence on foreign goods?
Before I start, generally, my preamble, we believe in true democracy for all Nigerians and Africans. And we want a country where the various ethnic groups feel they have a stake in the future of the country. We vision Nigeria where leadership is based on merit, hard work, fairness, and accountability as a measure of national strength and character. In terms of, I've always been preaching this for many years. Nigeria has been blessed more than any country in the world with natural resources, diamond, gold, silver, iron, ore, tin. We have it more than other people. We have food, all the natural food, rice, beans, this, rain around the year. We are blessed. So we are not going to be any major power if we are not producing and selling. Gross national GDP means what are you producing compared to America and Britain and France. If you're only consuming everything, you're not going anywhere, and Nigeria will be falling unless you start making things. We have Nigerian people are very intelligent. We are more as intelligent or more intelligent than other people in the other parts of the world. But we don't have good leaders that will encourage our local people to make things. We have everything that it takes to make cars. We have everything that it takes to make computers, to make planes. We have it, aluminum and iron. That's what it takes. We have all the things, all the brains. Nigerians, when they leave Nigeria, they are like one of the top percents in the world. When they come to Nigeria, they become like mumu. They are mumu down. So it's good that the government is moving in that direction, which is what I've been preaching. You need to encourage business people to make things. Give them tax subsidy, cut down their taxes so they can produce. If you're importing everything, you're not going anywhere. You are going to be carrying last, like we're carrying last right now. In Nigeria, we make cars in Nnewi. Why are you buying cars from outside? If we get our young people together, we can make planes. We can make computers. We have the raw materials to make tire, rubber, and petroleum byproducts is there to make all the tires. We should be able to supply the whole world with tires. We have the petrochemicals to make a lot of stuff. Nothing stops us but ourselves. So we shouldn't be importing from outsiders. Don't you see America? America is banning people from, they don't want it from outside, but they want you to buy their own. We should say we don't want theirs too. They should buy from us.
Thank you, Dr. Nwachukwu. But how will this new directive, the Nigeria First policy, create new opportunities for local manufacturers? How will this policy affect government contracts and procurement processes? And which sectors are expected to benefit most from the prioritization of local goods?
Manufactured, equipment like cars, we make it in Nigeria. We can make computers. If you encourage our young people, you train them, and then you encourage them, you help them, give them loan, seed capital. Our young people are as smart as people in China or America or Europe. We are more intelligent than them. So the government needs to be prepared to call these people together, motivate them, give them tax break. If you do this and create job, we will cut your tax. You need to give young people who go to skill acquisition school, send them to skill acquisition school for free. When they come out, help them buy the equipment they need to start making. And that's what we need. We have the people, we're able to become a world power. I'm not part of you people that's just trying to be following. Nigeria should be a world power where we're the one giving loan, giving job to people, helping people in the world.
Also, Dr. Nwachukwu, should there be any exceptions where, foreign goods can still be procured under this policy? How important is it that government ensures the quality and standards of local products meet requirements?
There is, when a lot of things produced in Nigeria, you have NAFDAC. You need to have agency like NAFDAC. They do a good job. I have industries in Nigeria. I have companies in Nigeria. I have 10 companies. NAFDAC, they come and inspect. Something like that will work. We don't need to be producing less, but we need to be producing best. But you have to encourage them. You have to build the road, the government, provide electricity, get water, train the young people, give them free university and school training, infrastructure training for free. And then if they can do it, help them buy the equipment, give them loan. That's what they do in America. I'm a doctor in America. They paid for me to go to school. When I came out, they gave me loan to start my medical business. And now my business, I have 5,000 doctors that work for me in America. They are not smarter than us. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I get that. I get that. But also, there's so many questions begging for answers. One of them is, what impact would this policy, or is this policy expected to have on Nigeria's economy and job creation?
When the government gives the business incentives, they need to tie it to creating jobs for young people and producing. When you produce, you sell it outside, Nigerian naira goes up, dollar goes down. So that's enough. Creating jobs, making naira stronger, that's strong enough. The key to it is the young people. All these old people, their brain is dead. All they want is corruption and chop. You need to focus on the next generation and forget about the old people who are just there to eat.
That sounded like you're generalizing, Dr. Nwachukwu.
I'm not generalizing. I'm a doctor. I know about people. The old people have disappointed Nigeria since independence to now. It's been a disappointment, except for Obasanjo. The rest of the presidents have been a failure. So that's the truth.
And that's
you can be
also quite debatable. There are a lot of Nigerians who would not agree with you. But back to this, will this policy affect Nigeria's trade agreements with other countries? Is it possible? Is there a likelihood?
They are doing it to us. Why wouldn't we do it to them? America is doing it, and the European Union have it all along. We should have it. That's the only way we will become a powerful country. China was nothing at independence in 1949. They came together and they have serious men that want their country to be great. Now China is the powerhouse of manufacturing. Nigeria can be a powerhouse of manufacturing in 10 years if we start now.
And let me flip that question, because we're a developing nation, and so the truth is we need our foreign allies. So how do we ensure that this does not affect our trade agreements with other countries, especially our allies?
It doesn't, because you work out an agreement with them. You can't produce everything. What they produce, you let come in, and what you do better, you send to them. We don't have any real natural enemies, as far as I'm concerned. We can work with the rest of the world. But if somebody don't want you, why would you want them? We need to spread and trade with all African countries and European countries, Canada, China, as much as we can. We need to open up, don't depend on any one country.
So, the minister says this policy will soon be backed by an executive order with the Attorney General directed to draft the necessary legal instruments. Should there be a timeline for the full implementation of the policy across all government agencies if we're really serious about this?
It needs to be anything that is intelligent is gradual. You gradually introduce it, 5%, 10%, 15%.
So when you say
20%.
gradual process, I want you to be very specific.
You need to start now, but you need to have it fully implemented in 2 years from now.
Okay. I don't think 2 years is such a long time.
And end it by 2 years' time.
All right.
10%, 20%, 15%,
okay.
20, 30%, like that.
Okay. Because, you know, the minister also pointed out that a full audit of ongoing procurement plans would be carried out, and breaches of the policy would attract sanctions, including termination of contracts, financial penalties. How do you advise government on how compliance with the Nigeria Force policy should be monitored and enforced? I want you to help us with some practical steps.
Yeah, like for example, why are you importing rice? Nigerian land is very good for rice. So you encourage the farmers to do it, but you shouldn't say automatically everything is banned for rice, but you need to gradually implement it while we are farming. Help farmers, help them get equipment, help them get fertilizers. It needs to be gradual. It's not going to be like automatically one day. Otherwise you will have chaos.
All right then, because, you know, I asked the question about compliance because if we're serious about compliance, this must start from the top. The elites, our politicians, business moguls, they're the ones with a high appetite for foreign goods. An ordinary Nigerian who is still looking for how to manage his or her salary, pay the children's school fees, is not all about the designer bags and shoes, imported building materials, imported chairs, when we have people who can manufacture these things here. So this patriotic mindset must start from the top. So my question is, how do we ensure this works?
It needs to be applied to everyone, and then, but you know, remember I said gradual. You can't say automatically we can't import any more cars immediately today. You can't import anything. It needs to be a gradual thing, encouraging people to change, encouraging the business people to do this. It needs to be gradual. They need to be encouraged. But it will work, and we'll be stronger for it.
So, another question I would like to ask you is, how will cutting back on foreign goods help Nigeria achieve economic independence? Based on your experience.
You know, you need some foreign goods. You need Caterpillar. You need some equipment still that will do the work. We don't have Boeing jets right now, so you still need to get that. But gradually, you need to start our people building small planes. We have cars, expand the use of our car, have them give contract to our local people that are making things like Innocent Motors. Innocent Motor is making buses, is making trucks, is making jeeps, all of that we can get locally. You know, it needs to be gradual. If you do it all at one time, they will protest, people will protest, and the whole thing will collapse.
But are Nigerian manufacturers prepared to meet the increased demand from government contracts? You know, what challenges might local manufacturers face in scaling up production to supply government agencies?
Clear what they expect, and then they need to come around and look at those factories and look at what they're producing. Once in 3 months, you visit the plants, you communicate well, exchange the information, and encourage them.
When you say encouragement, so when you say encouragement, Dr. Nwachukwu, what exactly are you talking about?
Encourage them to hire youth in Nigeria. You need to encourage them to improve quality. You need to encourage them. If they need help with loan, you need to help them. The government needs to help back the loan that the companies need. That's encouragement. You know, that's what you need. You know, they need help with loan. They need help with training the young people. They need help. They need to be encouraged to give jobs. Nigerian government can never create jobs enough to hire people. It's private companies that can do it. In America, the government doesn't have anything in America. American government only own army and navy and police. Everything is private. Nigeria is like that. Nigeria needs to be like that. It's private people like me that can create jobs. I need to be encouraged. We need to be given land, electricity. We need to have water. We need to have good road. That's what I mean by encouragement.
And you know, that's for the governments, the federal government, state governments, government at all levels to do their own part. But for citizens, what role does patriotism play in promoting Nigerian goods over foreign brands?
That again has to do with our government talking to people and our local people. Remember, they used to make fun of Japanese. When Japan started making things, they say Japanese good inferior. Now Japan has better goods than America. They used to make fun of Chinese goods, but after a while, Chinese good is better quality than America and Europe. We need to just train our people, Ministry of Information, tell them to be patriotic, support our people, and encourage our people. We have those cars made in Nigeria now. That's what I'm telling you. There's no kind of vehicle that you want that's not being made in Nnewi. Now, and we can make plans.
So, as an employer of labor, what support do you think manufacturers need from government to meet procurement requirements?
I mentioned already, you need roads, you need electricity, you need reduction of taxes. You know, it's too much taxes in Nigeria. You need to reduce tax so that the businessman can use it to hire more people. That's what you need. Government give us tax break.
Okay. All right. But for manufacturers, still on manufacturers, how can they ensure that, you know, they remain competitive under this new policy?
They will, because you have the government agencies that monitors it. And if you have competition, not just one company, one American company competing with an American company, that makes them raise the standard of the quality so that they can be number one. You have to, not just one business, you need to encourage one business to compete with another business. It's doing the same thing. That's how the standard goes up.
But Dr. Nwachukwu, I'm sure you know that in this part of the world, Nigeria, we do not have issues with policies and initiatives. Our issue has always been with implementation. So with this new policy, what must change from both the federal government side and ordinary citizens?
Politically, the leadership of the country needs to come and say we want to change direction, we want to start making things, we want to support ourselves, we want to start using what we have. Everything the world is using is under your feet. China and all these people come to Nigeria, they carry sand, they carry rare earth material and build things. Japan don't have anything. They don't have diamond, gold, silver, aluminum. They dig it from Nigeria. They get it from Nigeria, iron and aluminum from Nigeria, and they build Toyota and Nissan, and you're driving it. Are we mumu or not?
Maybe we're not. But two more questions before I let you go. What are the risks of relying too much on foreign goods for essential needs?
You will become a slave forever to foreigners, and they will control you. And our children will not be able to expand their brain. There's no reason why Nigerian 20 years old, 30 years old cannot be building bridges across the whole of Africa, rail. There's no reason why. Now, I'm not talking about in the future. We are not encouraging them to do it. Our young people are very intelligent. I'm there, I work with them. My factories all work, young Nigerian use 20 to 40, and we are the best in what we do.
And you know, for many young Nigerians out there who may not understand the implication of this conversation and this new policy, how can supporting the Nigerian-made product help strengthen the Naira, in your own perspective?
That is called gross national product, GDP. That's how you judge country strength versus another country's strength. The more you make product, the more you sell, your Naira becomes stronger. The more you buy, your Naira becomes weaker. You have to be able to make things and send out. We can make things in Nigeria. We have brilliant people. In Aba, they can do everything. They can make everything in Aba. If encourage Nigerians, we can make it, we can ship it. Open up the seaport, open up the airports. Open up more international airports, like, you know, like Port Harcourt, Enugu, Kanu, Kaduna. Open up more international airports for exchange. People will come here. People will come to Nigeria and begging us to give them job. I'm telling you, if we have the right.
All right, thank you. So before I let you go now, why should Nigerians trust and choose a locally made product over imported ones? Dr. Nwachukwu.
You will make it cheaper and you will make it better.
Okay.
I produce things in Nigeria. My goods are better than what is made in America. I have best bottling plant. I have big farm, rice farm, 4 miles. You drive for 4 miles. And I make rice bags, send it better than rice from anywhere in the world. We are doing it now.
All right. I mean, this is a great initiative, and hopefully we get it right this time. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Nwachukwu Anankweze, business and investment consultant. Thank you so much for your time in politics tonight.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But before we go, let's tell you that the views and reactions of our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News. Meanwhile, you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight.
In a world where news never sleeps, we're taking a giant leap into the future. We at TVC Communications are proud to introduce a new era in news broadcasting. But first, let me introduce my special friend, Olamide AI. Hi, Olamide Human. Is it time to come out yet? Yes, indeed it is. And you can bring your friends along. Meet our new AI anchors, speaking your language and sharing your stories. From English, together, we are shaping the future of news for every Nigerian, everywhere. Innovation, connection, and trust. The future of news is here.
TVC News, first with breaking news. And now first in Nigeria with AI news anchors.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything. If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all. Their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Community Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Community Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Stay ahead with the biggest news stories. Go beyond the news headlines. Experience impactful investigations. Enjoy resourceful news coverage in real time. TVC News at 7 and TVC News at 10 p.m. Live every day on this channel.
TVC News, first with breaking news.
Yaa Ashantewa was born on 17th October 1814 Bisiase, present-day Ghana. The daughter of Kwaku, Ampoma and Atapo. Her brother Afran Epanin became the chief of Edweso, a nearby community. After a childhood without incident, she cultivated crops on the land around Boankra. She entered a polygamous marriage with a man from Kumasi, with whom she had a daughter. She was appointed by her brother, Nana Akwasi Afrane Opese, ruler of Edweso. When her brother died in 1894, Yaa Ashantewa used her right as Queen Mother to nominate her own grandson as Ejisuhene, when the British exiled her grandson to the Seychelles in 1896. Along with the King of Ashanti Prempeh I and other members of the Ashanti government, Yaa Ashantewa became the regent of the Ejisu-Juaben district in the Ashanti Empire, now part of modern-day Ghana. After the exile of Prempeh I, the British Governor-General of the Gold Coast, Frederick Hodgson, demanded the Golden Stool, the symbol of the Ashanti nation. There was a disagreement among the members of the Ashanti government at Kumasi on how to go about this. In 1900, she led the Ashanti War, also known as the War of the Golden Stool, against the British Empire. The Ashanti-British War of the Golden Stool, also known as the Yaa Ashantewa War, was led by Queen Mother Nana Yaa Ashantewa with an army of about 5,000. During the fighting, Queen Yaa Ashantewa and 15 other closest advisors were captured, and they too were sent into exile to the Seychelles. A dream for an Ashanti independent from colonial rule was realized on 6th March 1957, when the Ashanti Protectorate gained independence as part of Ghana. Ghana was the first African nation in West Africa to achieve this feat. She was a successful farmer and mother, an intellectual, a politician, a human rights activist, a queen, and a war leader. Nana Yaa Ashantewa died in exile at the Seychelles on 17th October 1921.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
As part of efforts in raising awareness about the climate crisis, a group of environmental volunteers took to the streets of Lagos with a unique performance using animal puppets. The show tells the story of endangered animals migrating from different parts of the world, showing just how much our environment is changing. This and more will be our focus in this week's edition of Green Angle. Welcome. I am Esther Mokwariola.
It is another ministerial briefing for the Ministry of Environment and Water Resources, and the Commissioner, Tokunbo Wahab, highlighted the achievements recorded so far and other areas needing attention.
We need to get our people to behave properly. That is the key part of it. Citizens must be responsible.
Waste management, which has remained a major challenge for the megacity, received significant attention with a plan to transform waste into clean energy.
Last May, initial and witnessed the signing of an MOU with a Dutch firm for the construction of a high-efficiency 60 to 80 megawatt waste-to-energy plant on the Epe landfill. The innovative waste management solution is expected to take some 40,000 homes off the national electricity grid, as the technology will enhance energy security and diversification.
The Commissioner said the ministry has constructed public toilets at strategic locations across the state to promote proper sanitation and hygiene while intensifying enforcement against environmental offenders.
The state, in recognition of the need to address open defecation, is constructing modern public toilets in markets, transport hubs, and informal settlement, just as the construction of additional 150 new public toilets is ongoing alongside an additional 250 toilets being executed through public-private partnership. At the last count, over 700 persons were arrested for highway crossing, which endangered their lives. A total of 3,786 street traders, environmental polluters, and cart pushers were arrested and prosecuted.
He added that the government is working towards providing residents with access to safe drinking water by 2027, following the revival of the Adiyon Water Project, a move aimed at ending years of water scarcity in many communities across Lagos. It was a gathering of dignitaries, public officials and environmental advocates at the second edition of the Eco Waste Summit, aimed at promoting innovative solutions for waste management and advocating for sustainable alternatives.
Please put your hands together for
Participants from various sectors of the economy shared insights on the challenges and opportunities within the waste management industry.
I urge us all to engage, to question and collaborate. Our discussions are not academic, they are urgent, practical and community oriented. Let's build the momentum. Let's build partnerships. Let's build a Lagos where waste is redefined not as a burden, but as a resource.
Within the next 18 months, Lagos will permanently decommission the Olusosun and Solus 3 landfills. These sites will be repurposed into modern transfer loading stations for collection and diversion of waste to new material recovery facilities to be built in Ikorodu and Badagry.
If we do not overcome the economic argument, then we're going nowhere, because climate change seems abstract to us. So the people development pillar is really, really very important.
Increase the food waste itself, which people actually need to eat.
The summit also served as a platform for exchanging practical ideas that could be developed into real, actionable solutions beyond just discussions.
It shouldn't just be the policymakers and the manufacturers.
you must, as much as you're engaging the policymakers, the manufacturers, the alliances, you must engage the workers, the informal sector who are on the street making, the aggregators, the recycler collectors who are on the street. They must be at the table at any of this plan, because that is when it's workable.
The two-day event also featured an exhibition where items made from waste materials like pure water sachet, plastic bottles and used tires were showcased, promoting circularity and reducing the volume of waste that end up in landfills. Crafted from cardboard and other reusable materials, these life-sized animal puppets were brought to life in a dramatic street performance, showing how climate change is disrupting wildlife and their habitats. The performance drew crowds in the busy city, with organizers saying it's not just about the spectacle, but about sparking real action.
The animals are moving from, they just left Congo and now they're in Lagos, and they're going to continue moving. They'll go through Benin Republic and like that, and they'll show up till they get to Norway on the North Pole, right? So it's a long walk. It's a long walk, and throughout that walk, the idea is that we will then highlight the issue of climate change, right? Because these are animals. That's one of the things that global warming does to animals. They live, because it's now very treacherous for them to live in that space.
I am so obsessed with the architecture of the animals. Like you see that they are paper, they are fragile, and it's so intentional because it's supposed to show how our earth is so fragile right now, and we need to take proper care of it, else it's gonna tumble over at any wind or water is gonna break. So I'm just so honored to be a part of this, and I also think that it's starting a good conversation on how the youths can take care of our planet, especially the forests. Deforestation, forest fires, they're really attacking us, and once the trees are not balanced, the earth is not balanced. So we need a place for our animals to stay, else they will storm our home, like what they did in the streets today. They will storm us, and we'll have a place to stay anymore.
I intentionally took the velvet, that's the little monkeys, because we see them every day. And the children relate to it, because I'm always a children. So it struck me, so I went for that. But I will also say the lion, the movement of the lion, in front of human beings, the reaction, the story behind all these things is awesome.
It's a story of our social and ecological system. It's a story of resilience, of how we can safeguard our planet. And I wanted to do something, as a choreographer that can spark our sense of curiosity, to think what is happening. We've been chanting Amphara through the city of Lagos, and Amphara is a Hausa word for it has begun. But the question is, what has really begun? And what has begun is the climate change crisis, and we need to all come out and do something about it. It's so beautiful for us, and it's really meaningful for us to be able to bring not just the dance, but also to bring our context from northern Nigeria, who've experienced a lot of ethnic and religious crisis. So for us, it's a story of two systems collapsing, bringing the story of preserving and safeguarding the earth, and also bringing the story of our survival as humans in the north. One of the ways that we can really understand the issue of climate change is by bringing that narrative as well, because they are all a story of survival, and to be able to show the interconnectedness of these two systems and how we can do something about it as a people. Of the chaos that we've experienced in northern Nigeria, I started experiencing some of the conflicts as early as 2000, when I was just a little boy, a young teenage boy. And the things that you saw is like an example of how some of these moments are, the level of intensity, because there's this familiar phrase, that is common in northern Nigeria, which is the Amphara that you've heard us chanting. And usually in northern Nigeria, in Kaduna State, when you hear Amphara, that is when you run for your life. It is when you run into hiding. It is a moment, of that personal ritual. What do you do? Is it, fight or flight? It is that moment of confusion, of intense chaos, and that is when you see the smoke, you see everyone running, just as, we try to dramatize with the dance. So it is to bring in a sense of, this experience. This is not even enough, to tell you, but I experienced these things as a little boy, in Kaduna State, and I tried, as much as I could to be able to bring that event, some of these events that I've experienced, to the city of Lagos, so Lagosians can have a sense of what it means, to experience a conflict like the ones we've had in the north in the past. But it's not a story that to amplify the conflicts, but rather it is a story of healing. It is a story of where we've come from and where we are and where we should be going, as a people.
I felt good knowing that I could give a piece of me, and it's something that someone else can relate to, and not just someone from my own ethnicity, not just someone from my world, because music is a whole atmosphere, and seeing that somebody that is not even close to you can share in that same experience is beautiful. So we had the Coho guys. Imagine a Western, musician like myself playing alongside a band that they are not literate in quotes when it comes to Western music and to my style too. So, but it was beautiful that we could work together and create something beautiful, and then they could dance to it also. Mad.
It consumes a lot of energy, it consumes a lot of teamwork, it consumes a lot of calculations and a lot of techniques and things like that. I just believe it's a great idea for you to be a puppeteer and to really work and know more about interaction of human with animal.
Excited spectators among the crowd were delighted about the performance and shared their thoughts.
When I came here, I was so fascinated about everything that was happening, the way they were jumping around and dancing. And I was loving their creativity about the elephants and all. I like the way they use excess materials to form animal puppets. And I like the way they added traditional music to it.
I've been a puppeteer in Nigeria here, and somebody just sent me the link and said, join. And I'm like, your people are coming to Nigeria. I was like, my people. But there's a difference between the kind of puppeteering they do and the one I do. So it was a whole lot of new experience for me. And I discovered that puppeteering is wider than what I used to do, okay? And the idea that we are reaching out outside where people can experience what we are, doing, it was actually fun for me.
This street performance is part of the Head's Public Art and Climate Project. It's set to travel across several countries, ending its journey at the North Pole.
We need our drone artist to get his drone on set.
Green Angle returns in just a moment. Stay with us.